We just do a little mix of all of them.
Okay. I might just kind of okay. No, I'll start with probably the higher type and go from there. Okay, how would you do this part A?
I honestly have no idea how to start.
Okay. Basically y is 1 and then so
wait, so would it just be 2x add 1 equals 9?
yeah.
So I've got my little sort of notepad with me today, so I'm gonna
Go on.
do quite a lot of these. So it's 2x plus 1 equals 9. So I do 9 minus 1, which is 8. And 2x must equal 8. So then x equals 4.
That's it. And so x equals 4, and they already told us y equals 1. Okay. Similar idea. How would you do this?
How many seconds? Sorry, that was my dad.
Right.
There. So got x equals 2y. X. So if x equals 2y, it's 5y equals 50.
Yeah.
So that means y equals 3.
Equals 3. And is that full marks?
What, x equals 6?
Yeah. So simultaneous equations, they want x and y. Okay, how about this?
Yeah. So that's 7y equals 28.
Well done. And so y equals?
And then that means that y equals 4.
Yeah.
And x equals x equals 21.
X equals 3y?
Yeah, so does x equal... Oh, x equals 12.
Yeah. Okay, got it. How about this?
X equals 2y minus 1. Then you get 4y minus 2, so it's 7y minus 2 equals 12.
Okay. Yep.
So then you do 12 add 2.
What do you get?
So then it's 7y equals 14. And it's just y equals 2.
Is that everything?
X would equal 3.
Yes, that's it. Okay, well done. So that's that. That we don't need. So that's by substitution. I think you're good. I want to do... Okay, how would you do this?
y equals -3, then you got to do -3 squared.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is -9.
And what does squared mean?
Times it by itself.
Um,
So,
what is
oh,
minus?
is it -9?
Minus times minus?
Plus.
Yeah. So it's +9. Anything squared can never give you a negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just write that.
You can do it all in your paper if you prefer, and then just tell me at the end.
Yeah, I'll do that now. X equals 1.
And so, and they gave us the y equals -3. So you know how you get to the stage x squared equals 1? Is there
is y 3?
Sorry?
Would y equal 3 because it says y squared equals 10?
No,
So would y
they told us y
-3?
equals -3, so that's going to be -3. X squared equals 1, so x is 1. Is there another similar number that when you square it you also get 1?
No. I don't think so.
Does this, it might remind you of this bit up here.
-1 times.
Yeah.
Oh, -1 times -1.
Yeah. And so x equals 1 or -1. And y is always -3. And so, yeah, if this was two graphs and you had to show like where do they cross over, it'll be 1 -3 and -1 -3. Okay. Yeah, so when you have something squared giving you a number, it's plus or minus.
Right.
Okay, that one, let's try this one.
All right. So if y equals x minus 7, then you got to do x squared minus 49 is y.
So I'll just do x squared plus, and then in a bracket, x minus 7 squared. So how do you expand a square bracket?
I'm not sure.
Because squared is times by itself,
Square.
the easiest way is to just write it twice and then do it like a normal double bracket. So what do you get there?
Um, 49.
So it'll have plus 49.
Yeah, so x squared plus 49 equals 25.
So you'll get x squared, you'll get plus 49, and then you've also got the 2 in the middle, minus 7 times x, and x times minus 7.
X times minus 7 is minus 7x.
Yeah.
Minus 7 times x is minus 7x as well, so it'll be minus 14x.
That's it. And then you get everything else. So that's minus 14x.
So x squared add 49 minus 14x equals 25.
And that was 2x squared. Okay, what's next?
So now you need to do 25 minus 49.
I'd bring so to solve a quadratic you make it equal to 0, and so I would bring the I'd do minus 25. I'd bring that to that side. Is that what you meant?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
So what would you get there?
You would get. How did you do this now? So you would get 2x squared would stay the same, minus 14x, minus 24. So add 24.
Yeah. How do you solve that?
So then it's 2x squared minus 14x. Wait, we just do something with 0 again.
Would you have to what, sorry?
We have to do something with 0 again.
No. You could half everything.
Yeah.
What would you get if you did that?
1x squared.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 7x plus 12 equals 0.
And does that look familiar? How you would solve that?
Yeah, you just have to move the x over. So
no. Quadratic?
would you have to move everything over that's not the x?
No.
On this side. I don't know then.
Factorize.
Sorry?
Factorize.
All right. 6. No, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're here. X minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0?
X equals 3 or 4.
Yes. Okay, so x equals 3 or x equals 4. What about y for each of those?
Because any number that's not 0,
So
we put it because 0 minus. I don't know how to really explain it.
So that's fine. X is equal to 3 or x is equal to 4. So now what is y?
If x equals 0, then.
You just said it's 3 or 4.
Oh, if x is 3 or 4, then I have to do 3 squared, which is 9.
The second one is much simpler.
X minus 7. So 4 minus 7,
Mm-hmm.
which is minus 4. Or minus 3. It's going to be one of them.
Okay. And the other answer?
Minus 4.
Yeah. Any questions there?
No.
Okay. So those are similar. Okay, so I'll do the other simultaneous equations. I'll just see. I'll just go straight to the exam questions, see how you get on. I'll skip straight to this one actually. How would you do this? And it's the same question, just written different ways.
I'll turn a new page. So C is 30.
Yep. And T?
I know 80.
Yes, that's it. T equals 80. Okay, I'm glad we skipped to that. So for this one, what would you have to do to eliminate the y's? Or how would you get x first?
I don't know. Would you have to multiply? Do we have to divide by y or something?
No. So basically, in the previous one, you subtracted the 2, and if you subtracted the 2 for this, you would get the y's. But if you add the 2, you'll get the x's, because y plus minus y eliminates the y's. So just okay, so how would you do this one?
Still don't really get it, to be honest.
So same method as you did in the T's and copies one?
So do you add instead of take away?
Yeah. So if they have different signs, you add. If they have the same sign, you subtract.
So you do 6x equals 72.
Mm-hmm.
How does I have this question? So if you 70 divided by 6.
Yeah.
Which is 12.
Mm-hmm. And okay, what would you do next?
So y is 4.
Okay. Any questions there?
No.
And yeah, when with these two equations up here, even if the numbers are bigger, choose the one if that has no minuses. If it has no minuses.
Yeah.
So this one, you'll be all right for that. How would you do this one?
Wouldn't you have to do? Wouldn't you double it on the C side? Then you would basically get 2C. So basically, we do 4C on the top bit and then 2C on the bottom bit.
So
then you would.
The idea is that you get either the C is the same or the T is the same. So you could just double the second order. So what would you get?
I do this in my book now.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what would you get if you doubled the second order? This is coffees and teas.
At 6T.
The second order, if you doubled this one.
4C at 6T equals 26.
No, the second one.
2C
yeah.
add 2T equals 12.
Yeah. And now you have the C is the same.
Oh, so then you can find out that T equals 1.
Yeah, so T is £1 and coffee.
Coffee's £5.
Yeah, and it's easier to sub it back into the original. Okay, so yeah, double, and the other way we could have done it is triple the bottom order. And if we'd done that, we would have gotten coffee first and tea second. This one we got tea first, coffee second, but would have been the same answer.
Yeah.
So this is an exam question. All right. No. Let's do this one.
Right, so now.
And simultaneous equations are always calculator.
Um, would you triple the top one?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, triple the top one.
Alright, so if you triple that, you get 9x minus 12y equals 24.
Okay.
So you can get from that a difference of 17y is 9.5. No, wait, never mind. So 25.5.
Yeah, negative 25.5. So you're subtracting it. And so how do you get y?
It's 25 minus 25.5 divided by 17.
Yeah.
Which is minus 1.5.
Okay. What's next?
So y equals minus 1.5. So then you can do for the first equation minus 4 times minus 1.5, which is 6. So then would that work?
Yep.
Right. And then it's 3x equals 8.
3x plus 6 equals 8.
Sorry, 3x equals 2.
Yeah.
So you've got to do 2 divided by 3.
Yep. You could write it as a fraction.
0.6 recurring.
Yeah. 2 over 3 is fine. 0.6 recurring. Yep. X is 2/3. Y equals minus 1.5. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so the main thing, triple the top, and then the minuses are always going to be a bit tricky. This one, no. Okay, so that's by first multiplying one equation. Let's try this one. Part A, multiply expression 1 by 3, and then the bottom 1 by 2.
Sorry?
So triple the top one, double the bottom one.
Oh, I didn't know that was right. So just triple the top one. 6a plus 9b.
And double the bottom one.
3a. Sorry, 6a plus 8b.
That's it. So how would you do, let's say, a half plus a third?
A half plus a third. You do 0.5 times.
Non-calc. How would you add two fractions?
You wouldn't find a common denominator, would you? 6.
Yes. And so in that case, the common denominator is 6. And in this case, the common coefficient is 6 for a. So basically, you do it exactly like with fractions. You multiply by the other one. So that's 3a. So we times the top one by 3. The top is 2a. So we times the bottom by 2. So it's just like with fractions to get 6a. Or we could have done the same with the b's and we would have gotten 12b. Any questions there?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go straight to exam questions. How would we do this one?
Let's write it out. Well, you'd have to, is it add? Because it's a different equations.
So the problem is that the y's aren't the same. And so if you add, you'll still have x's and y's. You need to get either the x is the same or the y is the same. Like same coefficient.
I don't know how you can get them the same.
So it's just like with fractions. So like 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3. You just multiply them by the other one. So the coefficient of y for the bottom is 3. So you would times the top one by 3. And the coefficient of y on the top line is 2. So you times the bottom by 2. Just like with fractions.
So you do so then you would put them all on, so then you just times the first one by 3, which is (15x) plus 6y equals 33. And then 8x minus 6y equals 32.
And now we have the y's the same.
But that's a so then would you add?
Yeah. Hang on, that one's 36, I believe, not 32.
Yeah.
36. Okay. Add, what do you get?
So then it is 23x equals 69. 69 divided by 23.
And these are all calculated.
Which is 3.
Okay.
There is that x or y, x equals 3, right? And you can get, so then you can go back to the first one where you do, if x equals 3, then that's 15 plus 2y equals 7. So y must be minus 2.
Yes. Any questions there?
No.
Okay, so y equals minus 2, x equals 3. That's a 4 marker because you had to change 2. So yeah, you just multiply by the coefficient of the other one. To get the x is the same, you could have times the top one by 4 and the bottom one by 5, because the top one's 5, bottom one's 4. Just multiply it by the other one. That will always work. That was a times 2 times 3. Let's try this one.
let me just write this for now. So, and you need to find a common denominator between the y's. Wait, can't you just add?
X's or y's.
So, but can't you just add them? Oh.
So if you added them, you'd get 7x plus 7y. So you'd still have a mix of x and y. You need it so when you.
So you need to find a. Sorry.
Yeah, you need it so basically when you add or subtract, you're left with just x's or just y's, so you can solve it.
So you need to find a common denominator.
Right.
Between 2 and 5.
Yeah, or 3 and 4, whichever you prefer.
Which is 10.
Yep.
Two and 5 both go into 10.
Okay, so what do you times the top one by?
So you can do the first one times 5, second one times 2.
That's it. Okay, what do you get there? Or you can do it yourself.
So it's 15x. That's 10y equals 20. And 8x plus 10y equals 34. So now you know that you got both of the 10y's. You know that that 23x must equal 54.
So if you added them, you would get 20y. We want 0y.
What? No, wouldn't you just take away the y?
Yeah,
now that the y's are the same, you don't. Yeah.
Okay, what do you get?
23x equals 54.
That's adding them. That would give you 20y. We need to subtract to get 0y.
So take away 20y.
Just do top minus bottom.
Oh, so you need to subtract.
Yeah.
7x equals minus 14. So then x must equal minus 2. And then y equals 5.
Yep. X equals minus 2, y equals 5 for marker. And yeah, times the top by 5, bottom by 2, or for the x's it would have been times the top by 4, bottom by 3. Any questions there?
No.
Okay, so the only other of this type that I can think of, let's see. So you did one where it's yes, no, not this one. No, yes, yeah, this one.
Alright, 3x plus 7y equals 26. 4x plus 5y. So, find a common denominator between the 3 and the 4. So the top times 4, the bottom times 3. So for the top you'd have 12x plus 28y equals 104.
Okay.
And for the bottom you would have x add 15y equals 39. So now the x are the same, you subtract, don't you?
If they're both plus, same sign subtract.
Yeah, so since they're both plus, you subtract so that it's 13y equals 65. So y must equal 5.
Okay.
And if y equals 5, then the x has got to be negative. So we do 7 times 12, which is 35. So then it's 3x equals 9. So x equals minus 3.
X equals minus 3.
Hello?
Yep. X equals minus 3, y equals 9. Any questions there?
No.
Okay, so we've now done one of each of this hardest for linear, which is you did one where it was times 3 times 4. You've done one that was times 2 times 3, and you've done one which is times 2 times 5. And so that covers all of the exam questions that have previously come up. Maybe I'll just construct one and go back to that quadratic. I think you'll be fine for constructing them. So this one here, 2 pens and 3 notebooks cost £14. You can write it as 2x plus 3y equals 14. You can write it as 2p plus 3n equals 14 and solve it. What would be the first and the last?
3b plus 5p equals 10.
5 what, sorry?
5w.
Right.
Plus 1b equals 65.
Yeah. And you could use x and y. I prefer the letters so you know which is which. I just want to go to an exam question that looks like that. So how would you construct these two?
So you would do 3a plus 1c equals 30. And then 1a plus 3c equals 22.
Yeah, and after that it's pretty easy.
Then you can do, I'll just do this for the sake of it. So
nah, you'll be fine with it. Let's go back to these tricky ones. So we did that. Okay, let's try this. Wait. Yeah, oh, they're very, very, very tricky. Okay, let's try this.
X squared plus y squared equals 36. X equals.
So this is back to the first type. Whenever you have x equals or y equals, you always use substitution.
So you've got the x equals 2y at 6. So it needs to do 2 squared.
So basically, you instead of x squared, you'd write 2y plus 6 squared, because that's equal to x. And now you have an equation that has just y's.
So it's 2y plus 6 squared plus y squared equals 36. So you need to get rid of the 6.
You need to expand the square bracket.
Oh, so it'll be 12y. It'll just be 12y inside the bracket. 12y.
So squared means times itself. So I just write it twice, expand it the normal way.
And the screen's not updated for me. Oh. There you go. So then you do 2y add 6. 2y add 6. So then you get in the next bracket. So if you do 2y times 2y, that's 4y squared.
Mm-hmm.
2y times 6 is 12y. Would it be plus 24y?
Yeah, in total plus 24y, yeah.
So the answer is 4y squared plus 24y.
And last bit.
Six times 6.
Mm-hmm.
Add 36.
That's it. Okay, how do we solve this?
I'm going to just write that out. So then you can sort it out. So 5y squared
Mm-hmm.
plus 60y.
That's just 36.
Oh, no. 5y squared plus 24 plus 36.
24y. Okay. And then, okay, what's next?
Have you done the plus 36?
So what would you do after that?
I don't know.
How do you solve a quadratic?
Sorry, the screen's only just updating for me.
You have to make it equal to 0.
Oh, so just take away 36 on both
Yeah.
sides. So that's take away 36 and it's 5y squared plus 24y equals 0.
Yeah. How do you solve that?
Then you have
so you can't half these two, so you can't make that any simpler.
no, you can't.
So
Can't make that any simpler.
Okay, but how do you solve it? How do you solve a quadratic?
I don't know.
What type of calculator do you have? What's the name of it?
Casio FX991.
Oh, you have a good one.
Yeah.
So, do you see up here mode equation? So press mode and then number 5 equation. Is that the same thing?
It's not number. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, I've got that.
So number 3, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
Right, so should I press simultaneous equation? Then select 3.
Oh, is yours a black calculator? Is it like a new one?
And that's white.
Okay, so mode 5 is equation.
On mine, the equation it just says a next to it.
Okay. Well, what you want is quadratic or polynomial of order 2.
Yeah, I've got polynomial of, and then it says select 2 to 4. So should I just press 2?
Yeah.
Well, I've got that.
And so for this one, you have ax squared plus bx plus c. So basically 5 is a, 24 is b, and then c is 0 because we had to subtract that.
So I should just write.
So 5 equals 24 equals, and c is 0.
So I don't know what's happening. It just says for me 0x² plus 0x plus 0.
So put in, instead of 0x², we have 5. Well, ours is called y², but same idea. So put in.
Yeah. Yes, now I've got 5x² plus. Should I put in 24?
Yeah.
But it says x on that one as well. It doesn't have a y.
So that's fine. We'll just change it to y for our answer.
And then it says plus one more thing.
So ours is plus 0 because there's nothing else.
Alright. And it says my answer is minus 4.8.
Yeah. And second answer, press it again.
I'm going to write down that on my calculator.
And I think our second answer will be 0.
So I got x equals minus 4.8.
And is there a second answer? Do you press equals again or something?
This is x² equals 0.
And so x is 0. Yeah, that's fine. So in our case, it's y. So y is minus 4.8 or y is 0. So then how would you get x?
So like, let me just change your character. So if you go back to the start of the equation,
Just pick the easier of the two.
what would the start? So x. So if y equals 0, then x must equal 6.
Yep. And the other one?
If it's minus 4.8, then then you do 36 take away 23.04.
Use the second one. X equals 2 times y plus 6. And y is minus 4.8.
So minus 4.8 times 2 plus 6. It comes up with minus 3.6.
That's it. 0.6. So x is minus 3.6 minus y is minus 4.8 and x is 6, y is 0.
I think the y has to be 0.
Yep, we got that one.
Okay.
And yeah, when y is 0, x is 6. Any questions about that?
No.
So there's just a big quadratic one. And basically your calculator is just using the quadratic formula. This one. Okay. Any idea how you do this?
Not really, to be honest.
What if you made the second one y equals? What would it be?
Let me just write down. Y equals x minus 2.
Other way around?
Or 2 minus x.
Yeah. And so then what would you do? And you can check how we started the previous one.
Y equals.
So how did we start the previous one?
Does everything to do with 2?
So in the previous one, we said x equals 2y plus 6. And so x squared is 2y plus 6 squared. And that eliminated the x's. So this one, y equals 2 minus x. Any idea what you could do with that?
Do actually, or x minus. Y equals 2 minus x.
So in the top one, you know the way we have x squared plus y squared equals 9?
Yeah.
So that has a mix of x and y's.
Oh, do you have to multiply? Is it 4 minus x?
So it's basically in a bracket, instead of y squared, it's 2 minus x squared, because that's equal to y. And so now it's no longer a mix of x and y's, it's just x's. So whenever you have x equals or y equals, you use substitution.
Yeah.
And this one is just the same as the last one. It's going to be quadratic, and you can see there are 2 decimal places, so they want you to use your calculator to solve it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can do that one. Let's see, so we did linear simultaneous equations. So that was, when do you subtract, when do you add the 2 equations?
You add it when it's opposite symbols.
Yes, so different signs, add, same. And when do you subtract?
When the same symbol.
Yeah. Add, same sign, subtract. How do you get the x's and y's to be the same? Or sorry, the top x and the bottom x, or top y and the bottom y to be the same?
Sorry?
How do you get the top and bottom numbers to be the same?
Find a common denominator.
Yes, and you do that by always times and by the other one. That'll always work. Yeah, so we did one where you just add and subtract, where they're already the same. We did one where you had to multiply one equation. And then we did lots of each. Then we did lots where you did multiply both equations. 1 for times 2 times 3, 1 for times 3 times 4, and then 1 for times 2 times 5, which is all possible previous exam questions. And then we did these.
Yeah.
And then we did these quadratic ones. What method do we use to eliminate x or y for the quadratic ones? We don't add or subtract. What do we do?
You substitute.
Correct. And so for the quadratic ones, you substitute, and that's why we were practicing the substitution. Yeah, how did you find that, James?
Yeah.
What would you give yourself for simultaneous equations now? X a half or tick?
Tick. I'm a lot better at it now. Thank you.
Okay. Anything in particular you want to do next time?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
I said I'd probably give myself a tick.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
You hear me?
Yep. Anything in particular you want to do next time?
Hello? Alright, it's up to you for next time.
Okay.
By the way, my dad said that we don't have a session for next week because it's my birthday.
Okay. No session next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions? Anything else? Questions for me in general?
Not really.
Okay. Well, well done, James.